To give a demo lecture on computer networks, and in that special one, that is we have OSI model, that is Open System Interconnection model, which uses to have communication between two computers or number of computers or laptops. We can have interconnection between these computers. So what is computer network? Basically, for example, if you take two computers, we have computer 1 and computer 2, and we have the internet connection between these two. And to have the connection interaction between the two persons, that is used by computer 1 and computer 2, we need to have physical connection if it is required, or using Wi-Fi also we can have the connection. And we need to have hardware like network interface cards and other wires we require to have, and the computer network we have. And for example, computer 1 uses Windows operating system and computer 2 uses Mac operating system. How these are going to interact between each computers, that is between two computer 1 and computer 2. So for successful communication between these computers, we are going to use this model that is called as OSI model, and it is going to have 7 layers will be there in this. Okay, starting from application layer to the last one, it is physical layer. Now what is the top layer? When we go for transmission, that is, for example, somebody want to send a mail, and he is going to be the transmitter, and the person who is going to receive the mail, he is going to be the receiver. Okay, so for the transmitter, application layer is going to be the top layer, and for the receiver, the physical layer is going to be the top layer. Okay, so first we are going to have the application layer, in which we are going to have different internet, that is Internet Explorer, or we are going to have Firefox or Skype. These are come under the application layer. For each of these application, different protocols will be there. HTTP protocol, like this, each one have one protocol that is handled by the application layer. Next, the data is transmitted from application layer to the presentation layer. Now what is the work of this presentation layer? It is going to have translation of data, data compression, then encryption and description. What is translation? Basically, when we give the data to the machine, that is, we want to send text, we want to send some image, or we want to send some video, that is, we understand, but the machine has to understand. So first it is translated from human understanding to language to the machine understanding language, that is called as translation. Then we have data compression, because the videos or images are going to have high data it requires, that is 5 MB, 10 MB, 20 MB, that has to be compressed from 5 MB to 2 MB, so that it can be transmitted faster and the storage requirement also less. That is done by data compression. Next it comes to the encryption. Encryption is for the safety of the data at the transmitter end. Encryption will be done, that is it has given some key so that all can't understand what we want to send. So that is for the safety of the data. Encryption is done at the transmitter end, and description is performed at the receiver end. That is about presentation layer. Then comes to the session layer, which handles different sessions. It's session management. Next we have authentication. Next we have authorization. Different session, whether we want to log in, after logging in, and what we want to watch, whatever it is, different sessions will be there. And then whether when we are going to log in, it will authenticate, that is, we give the user ID, password, so that is authenticated, then it is authorized, that is successfully logged in, that is handled by the session layer. Then comes the data is transmitted to the transfer layer, that handles the thing, that is segmentation, flow control and error control. That is, whatever the data it is given, 400 pages of data or some images or videos we send, that is divided into number of segments, that is segmentation. Then flow control, that is, for example, we are handling, that is, we are accessing a computer which having 100 Mbps faster, it can transmit and receive the data at 100 Mbps. But what we have, the laptop or the mobile, which can handle only 10 Mbps of data. So this transport layer controls flow control, that it sends the information to the computer that I can accept only 10 Mbps data. So that will be controlled, that is flow control will be done by the transport layer. Next it comes to the error control, that is, during this transmission any error is there, any error occurred, that control is done by the transport layer. Next, after the transport layer, the data is given to the network layer. What happens here in the network layer? This network layer gives logical address to the data, and the data is placed into packets. For different packets it will place, that work is done by the network layer. Then the data is transmitted to the data link layer, where this data is framed into different frames, and also physical address is given by the data link layer. Physical address will be given. Next, it comes to the physical layer, that is the last layer here, that is at the receiver end. Basically these divided into segments, then divided into frames, all are divided, and we get the data at the physical layer. It is going to be in binary number, that is ones and zeros will be there, that is in bits. But this can't be understood by the user, that is I am using or anybody using the mailer, so they can't understand. So that has to be converted into electrical signal, optical signal. It is through wires, it is converted into electrical signal. If it is through Wi-Fi, it is converted in optical signal. So different conversions based on your end use, it will be done. That is done by the physical layer. So this is brief explanation or introduction about the different layers which are used for the successful communication between the computers. Overall, this is some brief introduction about the computer. Thank you.